In the early days of home gaming, sharing the experience with a partner was commonplace. As gaming technology became more advanced, games with a strong focus on sharing the experience with a friend diminished. However, over the last decade or so, we have seen a wonderful comeback of the co-op video game. From the bullet-soaked apocalypse-canceler Gears of War to the sprawling, epic, and funny narrative of the Divinity Original Sin series, games meant to be shared with your favorite player too are back with a vengeance. I'm Nuggs.
And I'm Griff, and here are some of the things we think make for a great co-op experience. 1. Make the characters need each other. Whether this takes the form of game design elements including forced teamwork, like doors that require 2 levers to open, or deeper, more complex mechanics like roles and classes that need each other to survive, it's imperative that a good co-op game create a state of symbiosis between the player characters. In Gears of War, Marcus and Dom are battle-hardened military buddies, and both the narrative and gameplay revolve around them having one another's backs. In the criminally underrated open-world RPG Outward, a game built from the ground up with sharing the adventure in mind, builds are limited, and to get the most out of your party, complementary character building is a must. Something like Divinity Original Sin takes it a step further with its amazing combat system, literally rewarding teammates with devastating layups, like one character casting rain on the battlefield, and then another sending a lethal bolt of chain lightning through the soaked enemies for a huge damage and effect multiplier. It's carnage you love to see.
2. If you have a story that matters, have 2 main characters who matter. In prison-breaking masterpiece A Way Out, Vincent and Leo are both fully fleshed out characters, each with his own motivations, origins, and flaws. In Gears of War, Marcus and Dominic both have personal tragedies, triumphs, and vendettas as the war against the Locusts rages on around them. Though not a co-op game, even though it would have been amazing, the deep and moving relationship between Kratos and Atreus in 2018's God of War is a perfect example of 2 main characters that elevate and propel the narrative and gameplay. It's very important that players care about both characters in a co-op experience if the experience is a narrative one. Otherwise, you run into the pitfalls of disposable partnerships like Far Cry 5, where only the first player takes part in propelling the narrative, accepting missions, etc. Now, we're not saying Far Cry 5 is a bad game, but we care about it for its engaging, frantic gameplay loop, not because of its characters, because co-op was not the focus, merely a tacked-on option. Consequences are essential to making gameplay engaging, and there are few consequences more dire than losing someone you care about.
3. Scale the world. I don't know about you, but it really takes some of the excitement out of a co-op game when adding a second player makes the game a pushover. There's a certain degree of advantage to be expected in co-op. After all, you are adding another human mind to your team, which makes you more lethal by default. However, when the game responds by making the world much more lethal to match you, you've got a party on your hands. Gunfire Games' absolute soul shooter masterwork Remnant from the Ashes is a masterclass in this concept, as are 9 Dots Outward and Ska Studios' Salt and Sanctuary. All 3 games are actually harder to play together than alone, and that's a good thing. The rush of victory when you overcome extreme but not broken challenges together makes memories that can last a lifetime.
Those are our top 3 things that make a good co-op experience. What about you? Tell us in the comments what you would add to the list. If you like the content, why not subscribe and hit that bell icon? I'm Nuggs.
And I'm Griff. You can find each of our individual streams and social medias in the video description below. Make sure to follow us there so you can hang out and chat with us live.
Until next time, stay cool and game on.